Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day. Hello everybody, welcome to our Team Tuesday this week with Daniel Lenhart. Hi Daniel, welcome back.
Hi Vasco, good to be here.
So Daniel, on Tuesdays we talk about teams and how sometimes they cause their own problems. But before we dive into that, share with us, what's the book that most influenced you as a Scrum Master and why?
Can I have two picks? I really thought a lot about this, but maybe I start with the first one.
Go for it.
It's School of Greatness from Lewis Howes. He also has a very nice podcast.
Excellent.
And it's not maybe not the direct relating book about Scrum, Agile or so, but this had a profound impact on me, on my personality, and on my development in the future, which is, I think, also very closely correlated to being a Scrum Master, because you're also kind of developing yourself to be a better servant leader for your team and helping them and learning new stuff. It's kind of, I have the feeling, ingrained into every Scrum Master. Every Scrum Master I met has the same. So I want to develop and I want to learn. I want to support my team. So they're very driven, which is nice. And the School of Greatness made me clear that was kind of a key book when I had the decision to be a Scrum Master and to change some things in my personal life, because it really made obvious to me that it's this kind of error culture we talked in the last episode. It's really okay to try something new, and it's fine if you break up with something old, like, I don't know, biology studies or development position, and try something new and dive into it, because at the end, when it makes you happy, then you are more motivated to be good at it. You can help people, and you can have fun with it, and that it's fine to do this and really strive for, like the book says, greatness, the School of Greatness. Strive for greatness for yourself to kind of have an impact and be happy. And the book really supported me with this thinking that it's fine to do this, that you don't have any fear to kind of switch this, because it's not easy to say, okay, I'm trying out something completely new, and switched positions and so on, and it shows a great support there.
Excellent. And what was the second book?
The second book was the biography of Elon Musk from Ashlee Vance. It's a very nice read, and I think what Elon Musk is doing with his SpaceX and Tesla, it's very nice. Of course, you can have debates about his personality and stuff like this, but it really showed me that you sometimes can have dreams in your life, and that it's okay if these dreams are bigger, and maybe you don't achieve them like you envision to, but the path is always interesting. It has turns. It has also sometimes you turn back and then try something new. And it really inspired me to dream about some stuff and try new stuff out. And this is kind of now ingrained into my character, to try new stuff, to help the people, and to have try to have an impact for some people. And so I'm helping a lot of my friends and so on. And it just really gave me this kind of feeling that it's nice, and that it gives me energy, and that I'm happy if I can help other persons.
Absolutely. And great and inspiring messages, no doubt. And now we turn our attention to the teams and how sometimes they develop these patterns and behaviors that lead to problems. So, Daniel, tell us a little bit about the context of this team you're about to describe, and then walk us through the steps how that pattern, that behavior developed over time that led to problems.
Yeah, sure. So this team is an HR development team, but the company around it, when I was there, had a mission to become agile, but was in the process of doing it. So most of the development teams were agile Scrum teams, but everything around it was still, I would say, adapting to this new concept. And there were of course, some growing pains, like all organizations have if they couldn't doing this kind of transition. So just as a context, the team was then was in a wheel, because they had some pains And we then, after doing the retrospectives and all the discussion and so we found out what the pains were. But because of the troubles of this organizational change around, which didn't support the team in their changes, like changes internally, but also changes which is important for a team when a Scrum Master escalates stuff, that the organization helps the team to kind of fix problems outside. And that was not very happening very good. And so the team had, for example, a lot of support requests. So a lot of people from outside the team had problems, so they created tickets and the team had to fix them. But they also had to develop a lot of new product stuff. So of course you can't have everything. You can't have everything, so you have to give some priority. But this was also very difficult, which things to give priority, which things not. And so the team was really struggling with their time, what to do. And the PO tried the best. Yeah, but it was a mandate from the company that these tickets are important to solve. And also the team sometimes struggled to kind of say, okay, no, I'm not working on this ticket. No, I'm doing what the POs prioritize. So it was a very difficult dynamic. And when I brought this up in the retrospective, we talked about this, we tried to find solutions. Then there was this kind of mantra from a lot of team members: nothing will change. Why should we try it? It will be the same. The organization won't change. And so they really were tired about a lot of stuff because they tried some stuff out in the past. We tried to escalate, but the organization said, oh yeah, we have a look, and nothing happened. And they saw that changes won't happen outside, only inside, but some of the changes only can happen outside. And so they were really kind of demotivated, and they were demotivating them again and again. And so it was.
So what happened in the end to this team? Like I can imagine this can be very frustrating, and I can even see, as I've seen other teams kind of resign to, accept the status quo and not even try to improve anything. But what happened to this team, Daniel?
We found the concept about handling these support requests, which helped them a lot and gave them a little bit more focus on the work. We overworked some of the backlog so that we have some of these requests which are coming from the outside team, not landing on an individual person's kind of work page, but having them really reflect on the backlog. So we had this kind of rule: put everything on the backlog. Everything which takes more than 30 minutes should be on a backlog in some kind of format. We use this kind of transparency, and this helped a lot. And then the organization started to change. They introduced SAFe and wanted to kind of tackle this organizational development depth and over this. But at the end, whether they succeeded fully, I cannot tell, because then I left the company to start a new position. But they were on a good way. But I think at the end, it's also important that everybody else in the company, on the higher levels, the managers and so on, really support this kind of agile approach for a team, so that the team can really then mature as a Scrum team. And if this is not happening, at some point, in my opinion, the Scrum approach is destined to fail, because you cannot just have an isolated agile Scrum team which should work with other teams in the company and other departments, but they are not used to or don't understand. They don't have to do agile, but they have to understand it kind of in a way. And when it's not working, it's not working.
Absolutely. So one of the things that this story reminds me of course, is that the Agile team trapped inside a waterfall organization. And I'm sure many of our listeners have felt this, where, for example, a team has been adopting Scrum for a while, and maybe they're even good at what they do, using Scrum to their benefit and to help them deliver reliably and consistently something that goes into production. But then when they depend on other teams, all falls flat, and, they get requests that are lost in beat heaven, some Jira backlog somewhere, and they never get worked on. And the organizational impediments lead to frustration and anger. And sometimes those teams quit, just like you did in that story, and just go away. But one thing that really touched me, and as I understood from your story, is that even though not everything changed, you guys were working on a specific thing that they were facing, right? Instead of only focusing on everything that others need to do, you guys worked with the backlog to improve it. You created a system to, take all of those incoming support tickets and handling them in a way that wouldn't overwhelm the team. Like, for me, that's the important part of this story, is that even in those moments when we, feel a little bit sad and frustrated with the situation that is going on in the wider organization, there are still concrete things that help teams solve concrete problems, that helps the team feel better and have more energy to continue on pushing on those other issues. What do you think about that, Daniel?
Exactly, you summed it up very well. And I think in this kind of situations, you kind of have to do expectation management. So, of course, it would be nice in the Agile world that the whole organization immediately adapts their Agile principles and works well together with the Agile team. But yeah, it's a real world. It won't happen immediately. These things take time. It's kind of a change management process. And so it really takes time, and you also sometimes it's good that it takes time. It's not going too fast. And yeah, there you can then help as a Scrum Master, help the team with this kind of expectation management. So, okay, we know we brought some things up. It's important, of course, to bring these things up, but sometimes this takes time or won't work at all at the start. So really kind of have to talk to the people. So, okay, these things I brought outside, and yeah, I will keep track of it. But these things, or which results from the outside things, can have an impact, of course, on the team. And you can do, like you nicely summarized, you can do some stuff to kind of manage the impact or help the team to adapt some of these problems so that they can do their work and aren't frustrated by it. So like this process we did with the support requests, which really helped the team to have more focus and also kind of really can handle this bootload of support requests, which we tagged them and we sorted them, kind of created a ticket system. Because first it was just emails to everybody in the team, everybody worked on it, so it was kind of a whole mess. And now we had one caretaker, we had one system, everybody could look at the tickets, and it used the time the team spent for doing this stuff by a third, or only a third time needed at the end. So it was really helping them. Yeah, and also kind of then support the teams there with this kind of mindset that, okay, yeah, you can change everything, but you can change something for yourself. It's also kind of what you think about it and how you act. These things you can act. So if you only complain nothing is happening, of course, nothing will ever happen because you don't do anything. But if you enable your team that say, hey, we can change some stuff on our sides, because on the team side, that's the beauty of the self-organized Agile team. They can do everything they want to like. And so we started with improving some of the processes. And what I heard at the end, some of the processes which were developed in the team were also brought outside, and the organization started to adapt them. So when you're leading by example, some people recognize it, and then maybe some change will go faster.
Absolutely. Great story. Thank you for sharing that, Daniel.
You're welcome.
Tuesday is Team Day here on the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast. But tomorrow we talk about something that goes beyond the work we do with the teams. We will talk about how to lead change and what our guests have learned from leading and participating in change programs during their career. See you tomorrow. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.